we finally made it to the top, to the King of Swords. And in my humble opinion, I just feel the King of Swords leaves me a little bit kind of, well, what has he got that we're not already getting from the Queen of Swords? I don't know if that's how you feel about him, but
I don't actually. I think he has quite a bit to offer that the Queen does not.
thank you very
And
much.
the
Please
Queen
share.
has something to offer that he does not. Much like well, we're not to the Queen of Cups yet, but the gentleman in the courts, he is at the top.
Yes,
The Queen works with him and sometimes for him, but he
yes.
doesn't work for the Queen. Now, one thing I want to point out that I don't have set up here is, if you think about the court cards of the suit of air, you've got the page, the knight, and the queen. And behind all of them is the wind going at high velocity. Every
Okay.
single one of them has that wind, those trees bending. Whereas the King of Swords is in such complete control that everything's calm and straight. He doesn't have to fight the wind to get things done. He controls the wind.
I am very proud of you, Sharon, for that description. I think that was fantastic, actually. Yeah, because I mean, it's not that I don't have anything to say when he comes up in a reading. I do, you know, but I don't feel I'm saying anything that I wouldn't have said with the Queen, you know. And now, yeah, the calmness. Thank you. So the clue is not so much him, it's just more the environment.
Yeah. So he's just got
Lovely.
complete clarity, complete control, and complete authority.
Yes, yes. I mean, he's certainly up there at the top. So just purely from a hierarchy point of view, we just know that he holds that position. But he actually kind of like, he feels, yeah, he does feel quite calm actually, doesn't, but yeah, I would say, but I start to hear the same words. He's fair, he's honest, he's you know, he can make a decision, he's got clarity. But I would also say all those things about her. That's all. That was my point. But yeah, and I suppose the difference is he is facing us, whereas she is kind of like do not disturb. She's kind of like sideways on. I'll talk to you when I'm ready. He's kind of, maybe he's more prepared to kind of listen because she's the one that does everything. So perhaps he has more time available.
Right. I like that. Yeah, he is face on, and he of all the courts, he's the one that's looking us right in the eyes. He sees us. He sees us where I think we're just a little ancillary for the others. You know what I mean? Everything is important to this king, every detail. He does know how to delegate. He's got that whole court to delegate to, but he's smart enough to know who to delegate what to.
Who do you think has more wisdom, if you like, and knowledge, the King of Swords or the Hermit?
Oof.
And
I would
bearing in mind they're both quite, you know, I would say he's very Aquarius, which is that detached sign. You know, the Hermit is the Hermit, which naturally makes him detached. And they're both kind of, you know, connected with knowledge.
I would have to say that I find the hermit the wiser, because he is wise enough to know that he doesn't know everything and he is actively pursuing more knowledge. Whereas the king is sitting there waiting for it to come to him. So I'd say the hermit.
But I would still look upon the King of Swords as an expert in his subject. You know, like I would definitely see him as a top lawyer, or maybe the person that writes the law.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Politician,
Yeah,
CEO. He's definitely someone at the top. And I'm not saying that he's not learning, but we can't see him actively pursuing the knowledge as we can in the Hermit. I do think too that the Hermit being a major arcana um puts him a step above, like the King of Swords would be mundane everyday men that live on earth, where the major arcana to me is a higher pursuit, you
Right.
know, those archetypes. Definitely somebody I'd want in my corner again.
Mm.
And
What
he
about
does.
reverse? Oh, sorry.
Oh, reverse. Oh, that's just harsh. That's rules strictly for tradition and nothing. He is unbendable. He does not see the situation. He's going to be like Capricorn in its purest form, even though he's air. Like, this is the way it is because this is the way it's always been, or this is that. How many times have you heard this and I can't stand it? I'll just go pinging off the wall. You don't need to know that, or because I said so.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
that card in reverse.
yeah.
And the
Just yeah, just do it.
yeah, you don't
No
need to know
question.
that. That's
Yeah,
above your pay grade.
yeah.
No, if I asked you a question, I need to know it. Answer the damn question. A lot of times when somebody says you don't need to know it, that's because they don't daggone know. They have no idea. So,
I do. I don't trust him in reverse. I don't think he's honest. I don't think he's fair. I don't think he knows. Do you know, at the moment, with all this kind of governments and COVID and all this kind of like from the top, we're getting such mixed messages about what's going on.
oh
I think it's
God.
very King of Swords reversed at the moment. I think
I
the media, it says one thing, then it says another, because it's being given all of this kind of like false information.
I love that for him. False information or mixed messages.
Either because there's stuff they want to keep from us, or because they don't know, but they want to appear like they do know.
Keep
So
us
whatever
calm.
whatever the reason is not the point. It's just unclear information.
And what you said, I know, like traditionally speaking, that page would be messages, but I think he's better for mixed messages in the reverse than the page would be, just because it's
Especially if it
coming from such a high authority.
Yeah, especially if it's messages that are kind of on such a global big level. You know, it's not just kind of your boyfriend is sending you mixed messages. This is kind of, I think this is much more huge.
Yeah,
You know, what's the word? Not communal. Kind of like this. It's this big energy.
global, like you said. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Wow, that reversal just opened that up. Nice, thank you, Mandy.
That's all right. I mean, I'm even kind of like seeing that sword downwards in the reverse. I'm suddenly seeing the King of Swords in a much, you know, more interesting way now. But I'm wondering, you know, things like the vaccine coming out now. On the one hand, right, I don't know about where you are, but on the radio, on the television, everywhere you look, it's all about the vaccine at the moment. It just feels like the news of the day is, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it marvelous? We've done 3 million vaccines, right? You know, by end of February, we will have done, all of these groups will have had their vaccine. Isn't it fantastic? Then you've got people coming on saying, I'm so excited, I'm getting my vaccine today. It's all this big positive energy about the vaccine, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I would like to believe, right? I would really like to believe that A, this vaccine is safe. B, this vaccine is, you know, going to kind of last. I don't know. I mean, what's the point of having a vaccine if you need another vaccine next week, kind of thing? I don't know how long the effects of the vaccine are going to be safe for. I don't know if they know that, right? But whatever. I'd like to sort of believe that, you know, they are going to get the entire country vaccinated and we're all going to be much better and the virus will go away. I want to believe all this positivity. I can't help it. I just feel we're not being given the whole story about the vaccine because they don't actually know, right? And
they've had no time to test.
There is so, I don't want to be negative, like Mrs. Negative about the vaccine. And I will probably get the vaccine, but I couldn't be one of those people. If someone put a camera in my face and said, what do you think about the vaccine? Oh my God, I'm so excited, I can't wait. I would feel at best, all I could say is, well, it's a risk I suppose I'm probably going to end up taking.
And
that would probably be the best that's probably the best I could feel about the vaccine because I don't trust any of the information. That doesn't mean the information is wrong, but they're giving us all the rosy, glowy side of it.
That's what I want to ask. In all that rosy, glowy, optimistic, oh, I'm so excited. Are you actually getting any information on the vaccine and the effects it will have itself? Are you getting actual information or just excitement? There's a difference.
Well, I'm not glued to the news. If I'm really, really honest, there might be some people that have watched so much news and read so much about it. What I'm perceiving at this precise moment on this day, and by the time this video goes out, this will be old news, right? You know, but what I'm getting is I'm just picking up on all these very excited people, and I'm thinking,
where's the information?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, but I can't share your euphoria about this. I hope you're right. I seriously hope you're right. But I'm kind of thinking, God, I hope it is all right. You know, I'm
right there with you. I'm right there with you. It's like no time to really test what long-term repercussions or things could happen. It's like it's terrifying. But it's
really
also
is like a leap of faith taking this vaccine, but you know, you just don't know what they're keeping from us, and you don't know whether it's being kept because they don't actually know. It might not be as sinister as, oh, they're not telling us this, right? You know, but
they just don't have anything to base it on.
I don't know. And obviously this is all being said on a video, and by the time it goes out I might think, oh, this is very embarrassing that I said that. But I am seeing that King of Swords in reverse. I'm looking at that kind of like needle, like it's a vaccine, and it's kind of you know, it's, I don't know whether I should trust it. That's kind of the impact it's having on me, just sitting here looking at that. Not that we were asking about the vaccine,
right,
but
right.
Yeah.
But it's very tied to the intellect because you're not getting you're getting all this pomp and circumstance and excitement about the thing, but you're just not getting any actual true information.
No.
And it feels like, you know, what are they covering up? You know,
I mean, the one thing I am feeling fairly confident about is I do believe there is a virus. I don't believe they're lying to us that there is a virus. I do not think this is a conspiracy theory. I absolutely 100% believe there is a virus, and it's sadly very nasty for, you know, for certain people, and it's unpredictable, and it's horrible, and I believe that. We
definitely need a vaccination. We do, or a vaccine.
I do, yeah, I do believe that. So it's not like I'm sort of like doubting everything, but I just think there's a whole lot of gaps in the information, and whether they're deliberate or not, who knows?
I doubt they're deliberate because well, over here the CDC is so hard pressed. They're working on this day and night. Mm-hmm. But because it's such a deadly disease, because it's so rampant over here. I mean, I think Paul
And
was
here.
saying yesterday we had the highest, we broke records again of the highest amounts of deaths in a day. They need to find something. They need to find it quick.
Mm,
So I just
mm.
think it's the timing involved. Knight of Swords. We've got to
I
do
was
this
just going to say the
quickly.
same thing. I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Yeah, Knight of Swords. God.
So I don't think they're doing anything deliberately. It's just I think they found something that works in their they're not going to vaccinate us without at least testing it to see if it makes us better or worse. They don't want to kill us all, but they just don't know those long-term effects. And the vaccine is so necessary right now. Do it yesterday that they
Yeah,
don't
they
have
don't know
time
the
to
long-term
see.
effects, and that includes they don't know, or to my knowledge, they don't know how long the vaccine will be effective for.
Yeah, what happens if this virus has mutations where it mutates to stay a step ahead of the vaccine? Then they're right back at the drawing board.
And yeah, and what if you've had the vaccine and you think you're all right, so you start becoming complacent, and then you're putting yourself at risk because the
That's what
vaccine
I worry
the
about.
vaccine's worn off.
That's what I worry about. Just everybody going out and gathering and not knowing whether, how effective
Mm-hmm.
this will be.
I think the
But
King of Swords reverse is very appropriate for right now.
I agree. I agree. And a little bit terrifying for right now.
Mm.
And I don't think that he necessarily, now I can see him, not in this case with the vaccine, in the reverse, as a liar and somebody keeping information from you on
Yeah.
purpose. But in this case, I don't see that with the vaccine. So he could
Mm.
swing to a dark way, or he could just be somebody. He King of Swords in reverse could be a charmer, not to the level that the King of Wands could be. But the King of Swords in reverse, he knows the right words to say, and he is like beautifully manipulative in a bad way.
Yeah, sometimes it's not, sometimes how you word something can be very misleading, can't it? And yeah,
Yep.
it can be deliberate. It's like, well, I did say that.
I just twisted it a little bit so you heard something else type of thing. Hell yeah.
Uh,
And I don't do subtle, so King of
but
Swords usually skewers me.
as an actress, right, sometimes it's how you emphasize a word, because you could read a script and you could say, God, I'm just choosing something like really random. It's probably not a very good example, but I could say, I love this, right? Or I could say, I love this. And so it's the same three words, but the meaning or I love this. Right. The
Yeah.
meaning could be completely different depending on which word you put the emphasis on.
Yep. Yep.
He'd be very good at that.
He would be a
And
master. Oof. So I'm not a happy camper when I see him in reverse. He usually doesn't
yeah,
doesn't resonate with me. Upright, I like him. He would be a
yeah,
champion of a sorts. Not the
yeah,
hero, the not the same kind of hero that the Knight of Swords would be, but heroic in his own way. He would be a champion for the people.
yes,
Martin
yeah.
Luther King, Knight
Okay,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Swords.
yeah.
Yeah, bringing the
And
people
it must be
together.
very difficult for anybody to be in a position of power, because you're never going to please all of the people all of the time, or probably any of the time. You're never going to please everybody,
That's
and
impossible.
yeah, and I just feel at this period of time, imagine how difficult it must be to be the person that is making all the decisions. Horrible job.
Yeah.
Really, really horrible job. Not to be envied at all.
No, not in any country or even in the CDC. Like, oh Lord, I would hate to be working in the CDC right now. Oof. So did you bring any cards?
I
Let's look at
did.
a
I put a couple
card.
of cards. Yes.
So Oh, let's go with this one. Terra Wonderland.
Well, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. You can't put an egg on a wall without it eventually kind of like going into reverse, can you? It's kind of its days are numbered. Eggs crack.
Wow.
I mean, he's sitting up there with his legs crossed. He's got his book there. He's got his crown on his head, you know, and his sword there. And it's kind of this is his little moment of. He looks quite sort of like serious and importance, full of importance, but his days are really, really numbered.
Oh,
That's how
wow.
I see that.
That's horrible. That's such a different King of Swords, too.
And when he does fall, that's it. It's game over. He's not going to be able to get up again and be put back together again. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Now they made the upright card him. They made the upright card him complete and in one piece. So this is him in his sort of finest moment. But we all know what's coming next.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
Wow, totally dark. The Wonderland or the Alice in Wonderland tarots are usually fairly dark, aren't they?
Mm.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna show you. We'll switch it up here. That Dreams of Gaia.
It's gorgeous.
Love her imagery. That is such a strong, stark image with the eagle in our face and him and he's got the scroll coming out of his mouth and all the symbols. They look like some sort of ancient alphabet and those cold, cold eyes. And he does feel like the King of Swords, just that cold logic, but there's a little bit more to him. There's a beauty.
But there's it's very active, everything that's going on around his head. It really does look like his head is full of activity and, you know, it's very busy. It's not like an empty head. It doesn't feel like a troubled head, but it does feel like a very kind of lively head.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That is so much activity going on in his headspace. That's and I didn't notice that that is not
a quiet head.
Yeah, and I find him beautiful. I love the stark imagery she uses, Raven Phelan. I love her imagery.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. But I feel that is a much more active mind than the Rider-Waite King upright that looks kind of like quite calm. It's almost like he will come into action if necessary. Whereas this one just feels like the mind is really kind of going.
Always.
But the face looks calm and it doesn't look as though it's bothering him. It looks like he's enjoying having a busy mind or he's content having a busy mind.
And I think in any conversation he'd always be one step ahead of us, you know.
Yeah, I would put him on Mastermind or something, you know, like one of these quiz shows.
Yeah,
this is the Wild Unknown, and they call the kings the fathers in this deck. So he's the father of swords, and I mean it's quite simple, isn't it? I mean it's the wise old owl. You know,
I love it.
So it obviously represents wisdom. I don't know if I would have had this as the swords or as the hermit, but look at the owl's eyes. It's kind of like, don't question what I say. I am the all-knowing.
Yeah, he does look.
You know, angry. I mean the eyes are very sharp. You know, I'm quite drawn to the eyes, but also then there is that sword of many colors that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I mean that's like rainbow colored, isn't it? That sword's got surely it's got the whole spectrum there, and maybe that's what that's saying. Like you know, I know everything about everything.
Yeah, full spectrum. I don't, that makes me think that when he does learn something or investigate something, he looks at everything. He doesn't just get an answer and say, okay, I know it. He's got to dig deeper until he knows everything about it.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in full technicolor, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
it's vibrant. It's yeah, it's like there will be nothing I won't be able to see about this from the top end to the bottom end and either side.
Man, you know, I really disliked this deck. It never spoke to me, but looking at him with you, I think I'm liking it now.
Are you saying this
Looking
every
at,
time I'm sort of
I
bringing it
know.
in? So yeah,
It
yeah.
just never spoke to me. And finally,
Some of this you're getting more out of this deck than I'm getting. Like you're helping me with it as well.
I could
Oh,
never see. Isn't he amazing? Eric C. Dunn, Tarot Illuminati. Um, I love this deck. I love the quartz. Look at that sword. Look at that. And he's big, brawny man, not somebody you would specifically identify with that intelligence of the swords, but it's showing the intelligence isn't on the surface.
he actually reminds me of friend of mine took me to see this singer who looked like a big kind of trucker, right? Kind of looked like him. I took one look at him and I thought, oh my God, right? Totally looks like him. But you would not believe what is on the inside of this singer, right? You would not believe this guy writes all his own songs and sings all about all his kind of emotions and feelings and all his troubles and all his hang-ups and just the last thing that you would expect this person to express. Amazing. And there you have it there.
Yeah, you can't.
The costume that he's wearing is
Oh,
spectacular.
this really and truly, all the costumes, he put so much rich, beautiful detail into this deck. Some people complain that there's too much detail and it's distracting. I don't find it distracting. I find it absolutely stunning. Every single card in this deck, I'll have to do a review. I'll have
Yeah.
to do a review because it is just, and as I've said before, this was the deck when I finally retired my poor little Morgan Greer. Took me 5 years to find a deck that I could really consistently read with, and this was it.
That's
It really
amazing,
speaks
Sharon.
volumes.
That is amazing.
Just beautiful.
How long did it take someone to paint that one picture? You know, like how long did it take him to do this entire deck, for God's sake?
Oh, wow. You know what? I'm gonna have to ask him. I'm
You
gonna
are
have
going
to
to have to.
ask
I
him.
want to know because, like that is an out and out work of art, and there's 78 cards. I mean, I'm assuming they've all got pictures on them or
They've
other
all got
numbers.
pictures on them and they're stunning. I know he works more with multimedia. I'm not sure if he paints. I think he does some painting, but a lot of it is photoshopping different things together to make the image that we see. That is a lot of work. I mean, he's not taking somebody else's image. It's the brocades and the patterns that he is turning into this image for us. So it's a lot of work. I'd say it probably took years to do this deck.
Surely it did.
Yeah. I'll have to ask him. And look at the back of his throne. He kept the fairy.
There's two fairies.
Yep, there's one here. Oh, there's three.
Three fairies.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting because the other card you showed had three eagles.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Three faces. And then I don't know. Okay, I'm going to have to show this to you. Oh, we promised that this would be a shorter one. But let me show you in
Yeah, we're
the,
good at keeping our promises.
I
like
know,
that.
right? It's hard to see, but the King of Swords has a fairy right on his shoulder, right there.
Oh my
Can you see
God.
her?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he kept very, very true to the fairy on the throne.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Well, I take back everything I said at the beginning about the King of Swords not having much to say, or not having much that's different, or like that is a different thing from the Queen of Swords. So I take that back. He definitely does have a voice of his own.
Yes, yes,
And a
he
mind
does.
of his own. And I do sort of look forward to him coming up in my readings now, hopefully not reversed though.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, in reverse, he's a bit harsh, as well as the queen. The queen can be,
Yeah.
though. I think all the sword courts in reverse are a bit a handful.
Yeah. Well, that was very enjoyable. Thank you very much. And one last time from the top, subscribe, or else we're coming to get you.
Please subscribe. It really, really helps with our algorithm and letting other people, unless you want to keep us all to yourselves.
Yeah, and if you happen to know the truth of what is going on in the world, let us be the first to know about it. Leave that message here. Yeah. So yeah, so we will be meeting again. When shall we two meet again? With the Suit of Cups.
Yay!
Yeah. So we will see you down by the river. Bye for now.